Fnatic, Toby, is there enough noise in the audience right now?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
It's decent.
Yeah.
It's decent.
It's sounding pretty good, man. It's sounding pretty good. And right now, I think our draft is possibly one of the most interesting things we could have started with. We kind of knew we were going to go into this area, man. Fnatic, they want to shut down Puppey's rotation with Enchanted Creeps,
Wow.
but this does this. Now, I know you and me were standing back there talking to Puppey, and I was like, man, I want to see the negative armor strat that Rock's Kiss like proved to us with the ET, with the Dazzle, with everything else. And Puppey just said, you're never going to get the ET. They just got the ET.
He kind of said, if you get ET, you win the game. I think those were something along the lines of what Puppey was mentioning. It's just because the hero is so unbelievably powerful, and you can put him anywhere.
Yep.
You can put him mid, you can put him safe lane, you can put him off lane. It doesn't give away any strategy that the team's going to do other than, oh man, we just gave them an Elder Titan.
Yeah.
I hope, for Fnatic's sake, that banning Puppey's Chen and Enchantress is worth it, because giving away an ET is massive.
Yeah, this just turns the approach now of Navi from let's rotate gank up the middle lane to let's completely zone out a lane. That's what the ET Ancestral Spirit allows you to do. And if you go aggressive try with an ET, like there was time and time again. I remember when ET first really started breaking into the scene, and I was talking to RK about it, and RK was like, I get hit by an ET ulti. As a support hero, I'm down to half my life.
Oh,
I
there
have
it
no
is.
other choice but to move off the lane. Whisper Tiny is a nice way to approach this.
I think we can safely assume that this game is going to have some action in it.
I think so. I think we can also safely assume this is a Fnatic crowd. They were cheering that Wisp Tiny pick. Whether or not they just like to see that exciting Dota, I don't know. Nobody cheers the Elder Titan pick. We're all excited by it, but nobody's
Well,
like,
the Elder Titan is more of a
come on.
surprise. It's more of a they let that hero through. So
They did.
clearly a team like Fnatic are experienced enough to know what they're dealing with when they give away an Elder Titan. And if it allows them to get this type of a combo, then you can see why they would give it away.
Yeah.
Because it's something that they're extremely comfortable with.
Yeah.
And they know that they've had success with so far. And
It's got them here, basically. But
Yeah.
also, I mean, we just saw what happens if you give Puppey Chen. And I mean, I kind of like this. I like the Enchantress, you know, not that different. So you don't want to give the Puppey creeps. His rotation is too good. I think it's smart, as you say. It means they get Wisp Tiny, it's worth it.
I just want to know right now if Navi want to stick it to Fnatic. Because you see the ban out from Puppey where he takes out the Venomancer. He's realizing when you pick up a Wisp, your lanes become a lot less strong. Like, it almost, at this point, I almost want Fnatic to try and run the Wisp and the Tiny in the middle lane and try and get a good matchup for that one, because they're really going to struggle on their off lanes. ET is going to push you out. Your Crystal Maiden can be very aggressive. She needs a little bit of help when you go for an aggressive tri lane with her, but with ET, CM, it's easily doable. And, well, OD is going to be banned out. Yeah, because he flies out realizing he can't ban out against Divorced. He's not sure about the off lane because, as you said before, Draskill, ET is just so diverse. He can do solo mid. Navi, they like to play him with Kuro, so they like to play him as a support hero. And he can also run the off lane, being played up by Fnatic. So you've got all three of these options. The only other thing you could really do is basically ban out the mid, because Danny isn't really an ET player. He doesn't like it. It's just that simple.
Could we see something like Alchemist here? Because wouldn't Acid Spray synergize pretty well with Elder Titan?
A lot of things synergize with Elder Titan because he reduces armor and magic armor.
I'm just thinking of heroes that I've seen Havost play a lot, and Alchemist
Yeah.
is certainly one of his heroes.
Alchemist is one of those carries, though, that if you look at Fnatic's lineup right now, they have a Tiny already, who is a huge chunk of burst. And because of the fact that they kind of nerfed Chemical Rage's early game, in terms of you don't have that flat HP to live through the burst anymore, it's kind of not that great against a hero like Tiny. But I think that the Acid Spray and being able to throw a concoction is always going to be really strong. Heck, it could even be run as a support, depending on what Navi want to do. But for me personally, I just think that people often think that the Wisp lane is weak because the Wisp doesn't really have a whole lot of lane presence, but it's actually just because he needs levels. His damage is still very high. If you throw in a Wisp at level 2, each spirit does 50 damage apiece. It's 250 damage just from the spirits, and when you toss, they pretty much all hit at the same time. And then you're taking the toss damage too. So the lane is actually not that weak. It's just that people have a tendency to not go aggressive because it's more stable to go to try to get to level 6 and do a safe lane.
Nova?
Yeah, gonna see a Luna from Navi. And this is one of those calls that I think you make when you know that you can be a little bit greedy, and the audience is like, yeah, we know. The Nova.
It's good. It's good. if Navi really want to go greedy, I'm still harping on the aggressive trialing for Navi here. I got a funny feeling it won't happen because you are running a Luna, but at the same time, she's also a big enabler. I know we saw the Luna earlier in early in our competition, and we saw in the mid. Ooh, thank you, Fnatic.
There you go.
Thank you, Fnatic. But we're going to be having like Luna who can enable offlaners because you get a lot more harassment damage. When you're ET anyway, you probably don't really care about that because you're already getting your Ancestral Spirit bonus damage from that. But it really does make it very, very dangerous in the early stages. And the TA, Navi are going to go with Dendy's solo mid TA. This helps him tank up against what you were talking about before. Like you got Tiny and Wisp that can do the burst damage. Doesn't really work that well up if Refraction's up at the time. And then you got the other combination part of it where TA is great up against Pucks and Refraction is able to evade the orb damage too, as long as it's up.
And plus TA just owns Puck, right? Like in a 1v1, the TA is going to go to the lane and he's going to just destroy it, right? Assuming Hani doesn't play absolutely out of his mind, but it's still a hard matchup no matter what. So right now, Fnatic, they're going to be looking for their other support, and Venomancer is already banned out. That would have been a really nice choice to have against TA, but we know how highly prioritized Venomancer is nowadays, and the hero just simply doesn't make it that far into the draft. So, Ted, I have to ask your expert analysis.
On.
Okay. So, Navi, we don't know if the Elder Titan's going to be played support or offlane yet. I'm kind of leaning towards offlane.
Yeah.
So both teams need a support after this last ban.
Well, if you ran the Elder Titan as a support, Clockwork has not been banned out yet. He's still available.
Yep.
So you could get a Clock, and you could put him on Fnatic, and you could put him in the offlane. So that's an option for Navi. You could also pick up a Lich. Lich hasn't been banned out yet. You could run him in a lane. I think that either of those would be an option for Navi, in my opinion.
I think the Clockwork would be kind of nice just because it gives you that one hero who can keep Era inside of an enclosed space for an extended period of time to say, hey, we're going to come back for you later, and we're going to kill everyone else. Or they could just focus them inside of the cogs. So I think that, again, Clockwork is a pretty solid choice, but they might actually just ban it themselves.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that right now, Fnatic, you're assuming the Enigma is going to jungle. You have a support for the Tiny, and then a Puck. So you actually need Trixie's hero too, if you're on the side of Fnatic. So it's like Fnatic and Trixie, both offlaners, both kind of need heroes. Unless the Elder Titan is actually going to be played by Fnatic.
I'm waiting for the Rubik or the Lion. That's my last ones for Navi right now. I'm actually with you after you said Elder Titan on the offlane.
Yeah.
So if Fnatic takes that, if you grab yourself the Lion, Navi already used the Lion up against the Wisp earlier today. Like it's something which it was actually proven to be very, very good.
Yeah.
It wasn't the way I thought it was going to be with the Finger of Death, but that was only because Navi just had such a huge advantage. They never really required it. But I'm wondering if that's it. And I think the Rubik also, you have a big channeling spell like an Enigma. You want something from range that'll either disable him, so you could think, if we look back to Navi's offlane, you could look for Fnatic's Windrunner to also come up in this selection, or Wind Ranger to come up in this selection. So long range disable, or take it and return it.
Yeah.
Wow, Darkseer.
Okay.
They needed a setup for the Enigma.
Well, they do need a setup, but they're picking a Darkseer into a double BKB, maybe even triple BKB team. So there's going to be this point in the game where Fnatic are definitely going to have to be the ones applying the pressure. They're going to have to use Relocate pretty aggressively. They have decent tower push in the early game. It gets really good once Tiny gets Ags, but until that point, it's going to be pretty much just the Enigma conversions and some auto attack damage. Now, Navi, ball's in their court. Again, they probably need a support, or maybe if they're going to be playing ET as a support, then they need an offlaner, and it's going to be Windrunner. Or Wind Ranger, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm never going to get used to saying that.
No.
Well, let's just call it the lovely Ranger.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Navi, so it's rather predictable the way it goes, but that Darkseer, like this is now what the second time we've seen it this weekend, and the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't really go that well. That was up against Alliance when Team Liquid, I think, played. That was the Ultra.
That was the game. That was where S4 lived with 6 HP.
Yeah.
And managed to kill pretty much everyone on the side of Liquid. It didn't end well, but to be fair, that wasn't because of the Darkseer. His wall was actually really good because everyone had to run through it to chase S4. It just didn't end up going their way.
Yeah.
So. Well, anyway, we're going to be getting into the draft in just a second, but I want to talk about really quick. If Fnatic gets to the late game, I think they're actually going to be at a bit of a disadvantage. Darkseer wall is nice, but it's not really that effective against the type of heroes that Navi have because they're not really that stat reliant. And alternatively, if you look at an ET and you say, well, the base armor reduction is really nice, and then they also have magic armor reduction, Tiny doesn't build stat items really either, outside of the Aghanims. And then he goes into something like AC, which is just a flat armor additive. So when you have like a plate mail and you have 15 armor plus from the AC, it doesn't get negated by Elder Titan's passive. It's only base armor. So in a way, picking an Elder Titan to try to outcarry a Tiny doesn't really work that well, because all the armor that you're going to be getting is from items, and it's flat armor. It's not stat armor.
Okay.
So I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
I'm just thinking about options here for laning.
Well, if we look at Navi's lineup, if they go aggressive, they're going to be running Crystal Maiden, Windrunner, Luna. Now, I would say that lane could actually work, because normally Luna is not known as a strong laner, but when you have two 600 ranged heroes with decent damage, I mean, Windrunner especially, or Wind Ranger especially, she has the... Dude, I can't stand that name. It's
no,
like,
I know, you could say
it hurts
Windrunner.
my soul.
I'm saying you can say Windrunner. Nobody's going to say, oh, it's Wind Ranger, because who's going to correct you to that?
Yeah, that's true.
Just say Windy, or Wendy.
So, actually, they switched the heroes. So Fnatic is actually playing on the Windrunner, which means that Kuro is going to be on Elder Titan, unless they switch again, which I suppose is possible. But if we're assuming that this is going to be the case, in terms of what each person is playing, then we could see the tri-lane of the CM, Elder Titan, and Luna.
I think that's pretty strong. I really do.
They could also just send Kuro and Fnatic to one lane, put Havost and Puppey in another, and just put Dendi mid. The way that I see it, when you pick up an Enigma as late as Fnatic did, you just assume that there's going to be some kind of greediness coming out because they think that you're dodging their lane, right? Like, you're not going to go run into them, which means that the Enigma can farm freely in the jungle. But Navi, they realize that. So they're going to be sending some people bottom. We could see an aggressive tri-lane. We could see 2-1-2. Options are pretty wide open for them.
Okay.
I want to see aggressive try, just as a purely biased caster. But Fnatic are also coming over here. They need to protect their jungle. They need to protect Fly's income, which means they need to hold inside their base. And that means no wards past this point. They already put an aggressive observer ward there, so they'll be looking for the de-warding to basically come out. But Avos, look at his, even the way he's running now down through that bottom, past the rune. He's trying to push Fnatic straight back into the corner. That's the plan right now. And the ward's already gone down. That one would have been spotted as well going down the magic bush, and that's going to take out this little sucker and this little sucker. And Navi aren't going to get... Actually, Navi can just hang around. They control the jungle right now. There's no reason why they have to fall back from this aggressive tri-lane. You already see Dendi moving back in towards the middle lane because he needs to block up the camp, and Fnatic is heading north. I think we got ourselves an aggressive try.
I like this choice because it puts Fly in a really awkward position. If you have a tiny Wisp bottom against an aggressive tri-lane, the Enigma is going to have to spend a heck of a lot of time trying to compensate for that lane kind of being shut down. So he's going to have to try to go down there, make some room for Arrow to farm. And then you have the top lane, which is going to be a Darkseer versus a Windrunner, which should pretty much be a wash. Both heroes are going to farm. The Darkseer is going to apply some pressure to the tower, but I think Fnatic will probably end up doing fine in that 1v1.
The potential for the Wombo combo here is ridiculous, isn't it? For Fnatic. I mean, black hole, wall, vacuum. They've got it all. And then on top of that, tiny cleave. It's pretty ridiculous.
And they decided to do lane mid too.
I mean, obviously, Navi are going to be well aware of that. It's going to be tough to catch them in there.
And the thing is, the longer the game goes, once Navi starts getting BKBs on Luna and Dendi,
it becomes less potent.
The Wombo combo basically becomes non-existent.
What would be the opposite of a Wombo combo?
I don't know. Somebody will have to coin a phrase for it.
Somebody needs to come up with it.
But Kuro is being such a nuisance right now. He's been just waiting for Fly to start farming up, and he's taking away from Fly's experience gain right now. And it's not costing him anything because, Fnatic knows there's an aggressive tri-lane on the bottom.
Too.
See, what are you supposed to do up against this? Harney can't come in close on the bottom lane because just the harassment damage will zone him out. The Tiny as well as the Wisp is just battling up against the TA, and then he's going to batten down the hatches and just try and survive. As you said before, Draskell, Fnatic as well as Trixie, they do their one-on-one battle. So in the meantime, ET just takes as much experience for casting minimal abilities, and every now and then, still a creep with the Spirit.
The efficiency of Navi's lineup in the early game is really something because, like you said, Kuro doesn't have to commit himself to the lane. Hani is clearly not going to be getting that much, and since they opted to dual lane mid, this is like old school Fnatic style. They put the dual core mid against a hero that they know would have beaten the puck pretty much no matter what.
Trixie, be a little bit more careful with your life points right there, man.
He was desperate to get a couple of last hits there because he got him down really low.
Also Havorst.
He's fine.
He just circled. He circled through behind this tower, basically down and around to try and scout out Hani. and push him out of the tower.
Well, he had the rest of his team there, and his team actually pulled the creep wave. So because his creep wave was hitting the tower, there was no real danger. I'm a bit surprised that they actually decided to block the pull, because when you're doing an aggressive lane versus one hero, if you block the pull, you can't just take the other team's creep wave, you know? Like if you pull their wave intentionally, and your full wave is there, you can just tower dive really, really hard, but they opted to block it instead.
Looks like we got ourselves a bit of a movement. Navi now just realized too, as Kuro was scouting out the jungle, that we already had Fly rotate out. He's gone over towards the dire side jungle, so he's trying to find something up there, and Poppy's moving up there to stop him. This now also means that Hani can finally come in a little bit closer. He's 4-0 up against a 17-7 Horvorst on this bottom lane. It's already been a very, very rough lane for him.
And the base damage difference between these two heroes is immense. Horvorst hits for 78, no, excuse me, now 81 that he's leveled. Hani hits for about 20 less than that. So have fun trying to farm.
And if it comes to a trade...
Fly. Poppy's going to come in right now. There's your Spirit to start with. Frostbite as well. The Spirit goes the other way. He's trying to give Kuro some extra damage. He's got a bonus 22 damage while Puppy body blocks him. The Malvestun will stop this from happening, and the Convergence are attacking on Puppy as well. Notel has to tether himself up, but Trixie also. The Convergence get in front of Puppy and up on the high ground. First blood will go to Fnatic here. The Spirit will come out too, but Trixie, good time to move off the top lane.
I can't believe that Fly managed to live through that. No tail with that tether timing, man. And he didn't even have his bottle there. Imagine if he had bottle, they would have been able to get another stun, maybe even go for a second kill, but Fnatic scoring the first blood, that was a pretty solid Enigma bait.
They needed that.
Horvorst in trouble too on this bottom lane. That orb from Hani just connected with Horvorst. So he had to back himself off, and that's going to force him to pop that salve of his.
That's the thing about Luna. You think you're going to kill her, and then you realize she's the fastest hero in the game.
She's insane. 380.
And she has boots, so Hani unfortunately not able to secure those. But the thing is, since Hani was alone, eventually it's going to get to a point where, almost got the Lucent Beam off. That was close.
And now maybe they do have a crack at this. Notel tethers in, then Spirit damage. He's got one last hit, but it's not going to be enough. 40 life points have also dropped down to. He has to go back to base now. He doesn't look like he wants to. He's going to use one Lucent Beam before he goes back to base.
This is very, very risky.
This is a Horvorst. He just wants farm. He wants the monies. Build into that hand of ice of his.
He's going back now. Yeah, he's going back now.
No, he has to. There's no other choice.
The one thing that I'm kind of curious about for this dual lane mid that Fnatic has going.
Dendi
Combo.
thrown up, pulled down. The courier actually giving in his bottle at the same time. He's got to get this charge right and jumps inside of Melt. These Spirits, though, the damage may be enough because there's no refraction. Down the toss with a creep. Gets the kill, but at the same time, Puppy in from the side. Nova's down Notel, but it's still a mid-solo for the support Wisp.
The thing about Tiny Stun is that it's incremental damage. It doesn't all hit you at once, so it actually eats refraction very, very fast. So when he gets hit by that combo, you think normally, oh yeah, he'll be fine because it's just 2 instances of damage, but it's not. It's actually quite a bit more, and that's why he actually almost died immediately under the tower. Then he has Spirits too. So there's a lot of ways actually for them to break his refraction, which was the point that I was making, or trying to make earlier, is that he actually has good farm considering he's against a dual lane. He's only 4 CS behind Era.
Yeah.
Speaking of CS, man, Fnatic gets a little bit of space when Trixie rotates out. He's 38 for 5 right now on this top lane. He is going to absolute town on this creep wave. All the money in the world for him. And that means either early force stuff. He's got early phase boots as it is. Era's trying to go on Dendi. There's your avalanche. Maybe he can toss him back right now. Running after him, but refraction saves a lot of the line points of him. And then also with the Elder Titan Spirit down the ground, the TA traps. Waiting out a little bit longer. They've got one more trap there as well to slow down Era and Puppy. Frostbite's going to be used, but Era just got healed up by Notel. And Navi's damage is almost nothing. In fact, they're going to toss Notel in. Kuro, he's at 100 life points. Puck's going to drop the oldie. Hardy coming in. The avalanche connects on 2 of them. Then Dendi will go inside the bell, but up comes Fly. And he's got himself, well, Malvus does. There's a double kill for Era. There's about to become a triple kill once they bring down Puppy. Salve was instantly cancelled. Fnatic TP'd in. He needs to shackle right now and get himself away before Era's able to avalanche. There's the avalanche. There's the orb. And Fnatic's going to go down. It's 5-1 and maybe more. Puppy, Malvestun, it won't pick him off, and in comes Horvorst, dropping down the Eclipse. He picks up the Tiny. Hani's on the run as well. They've got the Spirits run on top of no mana for a Lucent Beam from Horvorst. Even with that one charge, actually now he's pretty damn close. He's got it. But Notel just walking himself out. He can tether up to Trixie, which is exactly what he will do, even though the Hellbears will say hello. But 5 for 2 now on the board.
Man, that was such a great fight for Fnatic. They just, when they get a kill, they just start rolling. They don't get just one kill. They continue to try to fight. They find more and more. They didn't get the tower, sure, but that was a huge reaction coming out from Navi, and they had to burn Eclipse just to get a kill. So right now, Fnatic in a definite lead here.
Their decision making and their execution is so good that they don't waste anything. They're very efficient in their kills, so they've got the mana, they've got the spells there to follow it up if the opportunity arises.
I just really like the fact that Era always does this build. He goes for the treads, he goes for the bracer, because when they originally initiated on him in mid, they were like, let's go for Era. He has 1,200 health at 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
like how do you justify going for him? And that's with No Tail also having a bottle and giving him more health through tether and just spamming it. So once they realize, hey, we can't go on this, it's too late because all you have to do is use that 1,300 range toss and the fight is started.
Fly's got himself a little bit of a medic right now. Avors will find an invis rune, gonna head down south, but Fly was running low on mana even though he's running a soul ring. No Tail just gives him a little bit of a buff up. All good to go back in the jungle again. Phoenix now rotated down. He's also building a mech with all of this money, which he pulled off that top lane. And now Shackle, Flash Honey. They got this one on the bottom lane. Power shot from the Wind Ranger. Lucid Beam from Avors. And with both being up at level 4, that puck was not going to survive long.
Dire's middle tower is under
And he's really he's really been shut down. It's 17-3 for his CS. First death to his name, but still 17-3 for the CS of a puck. This Blink Dag's going forever puppy. Oh, No Tail tossed in. There's a spirit though. No Tail underneath the tower with the frostbite locking him in. Kuro wants to chase it down. The shackle comes in from Fnatic. The avalanche will connect. But a lot of bonus heroes coming in for Navi. The damage on Kuro and Avors with the buff up. And levels it up, 5-5 with Fnatic with a little bit more of an overcommitment.
I take back everything I said, Andy.
Well, it's easy to get kind of, you saw how excited they were to play the game, right? Like they were all pumped, they see a kill, they're like, all right, let's go for it. But you have to remember you're playing against Navi. When you dive at tier 2 for a support, you can't expect that to always go favorably for you, and that was a perfect example. So Fnatic, just rein it in a tiny bit. Try to get some farm on Honey, maybe secure yourself a Blink Dagger. If you find an opening, that's great. But going past to a tier 2 at less than 10 minutes into the game, that's a bit manly.
Especially if you don't have a Wisp Boulder to pull yourself back out again.
Yeah.
Fly's been hanging around this mid, waiting for a time to hold something. He's just been prepping for so damn long to try and find somebody out of position, while Trixie just keeps farming up the top lane. He's almost finished up his binders. The recipe is basically there for him. While Dendy, like, what are you seeing up on him? We have Avors picking up an Ogre Club, but Denny's walking around with 43 CS, 2 deaths to his name as well. You're not looking at an early Blink Dagger. You're not even looking at like any sort of a BKB, and Avors is looking at a lot less life points. That's a level 4 toss from Era, which he loves to level up but before the avalanche. He threw a toss out then, Avors dropped by half of his life points.
That's the utility of a toss.
And there it goes again.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You can toss. If you can see the hero, you can toss on the hero.
Yep. And they got an aggressive observer ward behind that tier 1 tower. So that's what's looking out to find Avors every single time. They know how much support is there.
I really want to see.
And there it goes again.
The next couple of fights.
Okay, Navi's got to know something's up here.
Yeah.
They got to know something's up.
Isn't it the Darkseer take a level of wall already? Can you just check? Yeah, I thought he had.
Well, it's kind of preference. Some players like getting the point into wall very early. Some people like Bone7, I think. He actually puts it in at level 6, which is like really early. And some people prefer going no wall until like level 10 and 11 because you want to get more points into your vacuum. But the wall is still the better spell than leveling 1 point in the vacuum. Like there's no arguing. It's just when your vacuum's so low level, it's hard to utilize the wall properly.
True, but I think it is also quite good as a defensive thing, right? You can throw it up if you need to run away.
It can be really nice for retreat. It can also be really nice for just pushing the tower.
Yeah.
If you put a really nice wall down, it's like, you shall not pass.
Yeah.
And the other team kind of just has to watch you kill the tower.
It's more of an intimidation factor more than anything else. Phoenix now finished up his mech too. He's got the money for it. And this middle lane, Wisp finally has level 6 up as well, but he has not used that relocate yet. But now he's not giving them opportunities. Like Kuro's sitting back behind the tower. We've got Puppy as well as Avors who are now inside the jungle. Dendy's running away from Trixie, but with as many traps down as Dendy has, the chance of Trixie catching up to him is minimal.
Yeah. The thing is for Dendy is he's going to be struggling a lot in this game. There's actually a lot on the side of Fnatic that do very well against him until he has a BKB. then at that point he can go in and go to town, use his meld, do as much damage as feasibly possible, and then try to get out. But he's already gone for a bracer. He just realizes how squishy he is.
Fnatic gonna look for the shackle right now, and he gets it on Trixie. Unfortunately, right now there's an ulti coming in from Hera, and that's gonna be Nova down almost instantly. Is there a secondary shackle? There's a power shot. Notel's low on life, but he should not go down now. Surged away. Denny's trying to come in closer for this one. Avorce is there, and Era's going to be pulled away. Hani, get away, get away. He got mini stunned. He didn't draw himself out. He has from the Dream Call. The ETO, he's in the perfect position to kill him off. Well, it's the Spirit that did the job. And that initiation just did not work from Fnatic. The first time the relocate's used. And Navi have 5 waiting for them.
It's really risky relocating onto a Windrunner for that exact reason, because you have about a 1.5 second warning before you can actually teleport in and go for him. He can already be out of range just by popping Windrun and just running the heck away. So, yeah, not the best decision from Fnatic, but they really didn't lose that much. Hani dying kind of sucks, but he was also in a lane where he wasn't getting a whole lot. It's not like he was close to his blink or anything, so.
Looks like I'm not going to say a tower trade fully yet, but Navi will take the T1, will double TPs on the way in. Hani, he doesn't have Dream Core, but Era, avalanche toss onto Avorce, and now he pops up the Eclipse, and it will keep going for a little bit, but Dendy, now he'll be the one to be chased down. Refraction won't help him with those Spirit Balls going out. He'll save a little bit of damage, and Hani takes a huge amount. The toss will come in from Era, it's buying the space, and the Tenor Stun remains, so he could not keep attacking fast. The TA trap will trigger, but Notel's okay. And now there's 2 calls for Navi going down.
They still haven't used Black Hole yet.
Nope.
So all
there's been no chance. He went ahead of mine instead of a blink dagger.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, they won that fight. They didn't have to use either of those big spells.
It is always nice when you can go in and be like, yeah, I still got my 3 and some change minute cooldown. The one thing that kind of surprises me, though, is Fnatic actually bought a mech and didn't go for a Midas. I'm like thoroughly enjoying just that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that too.
I wonder if it's because this is an aggressive lineup to play against, right?
It is.
So I think if you dilly-dally and go for the Midas, you're going to be under pressure.
Don't want to dilly-dally.
No dilly-dally.
And then he now picks up drums too, so everyone on the side of Navi is kind of just going for the beef up thing. Avos is going to find Hani.
Ulti's coming in right now from Wisp. He's bringing Era with him, but Windrunner away. Mini Shackle keeps Notel a little bit further away too, but Danny, Refraction, he only just gets it up. Goes Meld as well. They don't have a reveal. There's your Black Hole. Holding Avos in position, but they need to pick off Fly. Funny, he has no mana for a Shackle, but they're able to survive it anyway. There's 2 heroes going down for the prize of the Luna, but now the Darkseer wall. Back in again. They got extras. Poppy with a triple kill for this fight, and now Danny, Mel, but he starts it up. Hani can finish the job right now. 2 for 3 now on the board. Fnatic, he still has no mana. Actually, he's got 7 1 charges. He can help out right now. If he pops this, he can look for the Shackle. And there's a line almost perfectly. Kuro is still on the run from Trixie, while Hani runs up higher. Trixie has to be right behind Kuro. Now the Surge Beast. Iron Shell just wore off too. The Spirit goes down. He can't, well, there it is. The Iron Shell, Kuro burning. He tried to deny himself for the Hellbears. He runs up. The Orb's in a bad position for it. It wasn't close enough. 1 charge has come out. He's still got Nerd Charge available. Jukes in the tree line. Trixie, no mana for a back. He can't juke forever. Will finally be brought down.
That was the longest, slowest chase in the universe.
And to be honest, Fnatic kind of went at that half-ass. They didn't have their whole team there at the start of the fight, so by the time they get there, Era's already almost dead, and No Tail is dead. So not really the best coordination coming out right now from Fnatic, but they still managed to go okay. Like, they still killed Dendy, they still killed Kuro, and they still, I think, killed one other person as well. But it could have been a lot better. Like, if they just get everyone in the fight at the same time.
Did they get votes?
I think they, they black holed them.
They killed the boss.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a loss for them, but the tier 1 tower dies, so it still is kind of not the greatest.
Yeah. But that was it. They had Black Hole and they had Wall for those fights. Those were both crucial.
Well, Wall is important, but it's not that long of a cooldown. It's only 100 seconds.
True, but I think it did quite a bit in that fight.
Well, the vacuum, unfortunately, was, I think at the time, only level 2.
Radiant's middle tower
So it's harder to get a really nice vacuum when you drop the wall, and I think he only made a couple of illusions. But that was enough to make the rest of Navi fall back anyway. So a really close game, and I think this is kind of what people were expecting.
Yeah.
It's what I was hoping for, man. It's
Five of these would be nice.
It's when you take the gloves off and you just start fighting and you agree that you can do such a thing.
Wait, take the gloves off. You mean put them on, because
No.
it's hand of Midas.
This is bare knuckle, man.
No, but this is nothing but gloves. There's more gloves being made right now.
I'm still only counting 3, and that's not as bad as we've had before.
Okay, let's see, 3, 4.
And where did
There's
he
4.
find? Of course, with a hand of mines, Puppy don't go straight into a Yule Scepter for himself.
He's got a lot of farm.
For first item, Yule Scepter. He's also got 4 kills. That's probably one of the major reasons. He got a triple kill on that bottom lane. Now we see Roshan going down, so Luna will take the Aegis, the Immortal. And Horvorst almost has finished up his BKB as well. These key items are arriving for Navi. And I'm wondering just how long it's going to take Fnatic. Like, Fly's running, obviously he's going to bring down this top tower right now, so that's going to help out their money. But running the Hand of Mines and going straight into a BKB, this is going to take him some time. Bottom lane, Notel and Era, they're being stalked by TA traps. But Denny's still building into his own BKB. I'm just wondering if we've got the problem with a bad Midas right now, like a delay hit. Era, middle lane, he gets the avalanche right now onto a Voss, tossed down. That's going to trigger the Aegis, the Immortal, but now with the Spirit and the ET ulti coming out, they've got the wall right on top of a Voss, and now he just pops the Eclipse, and he's going to nail on Trixie. 3 hits, and Era as well. Man-moning it up. Kuro's in a little bit of trouble. Puppy throws out the ulti and adds a little bit of a filter between themselves as well as Navi, as well as Fnatic. Fnatic have lost 3. Notel's on the run, but Denny's chasing him. Tethers down to the creep wave, but Denny is not giving this up. He's got a haste ring. He'll follow Notel to the end of the earth. Melds him hits, and one more hit. He got him. Denny with a double kill. And 4 in total for Navi in the bag.
Notel made a bit of a blunder there. He didn't take the Tiny back with him when the relocate was over. So he actually just left Era to die, basically, at the end of the fight, and that is very, very unfortunate, because if he had been with Notel, then Dendi can't chase and get that extra kill. So it's actually 2 kills that they actually gave away because of the fact that he didn't tether when he went back.
This middle lane, tier 1 and tier 2 tower going down, plus 4 hero kills. You know that gold graph, yeah, it's dipping fast. Experience as well. That one fight just gained Navi 7,000 experience points.
Well, that was Roshan too.
That was Roshan too, yeah, you're right.
This is kind of what we were saying though during the draft is, even though the BKBs aren't quite done yet, now that they are, fighting against BKBs this early, if you're on the side of Fnatic, is going to be very hard because Era doesn't have that hard carry mode activated yet. He's only got Midas, drums, and shreds. He doesn't even have Ags. So how can you expect the Tiny to carry at this early stage when the other team has magic immunity on 2 of their most important heroes?
Yep. And even if you jump in, you just pull them straight out. It's yeah, time be rough. Time be rough for Fnatic. But we do know their comeback potential with this kind of combo. Towers can go down instantly. If Navi have to break the base. Basically, put it very, very simple. Everything they do, it has to work into breaking the base. With the lifesteal coming up on a Vorst, he might be able to do it. Even going high ground, having that lifesteal just lets him keep coming time and time again.
Just as like a thing.
Yeah.
Puppy has more farm than Era does.
He's actually the 4th highest net worth.
Wow.
He is actually almost the same farm as his carry and mid. That just feels wrong.
I don't know about you, man, but it feels right.
He's got 4 kills, like he's 4 and 1. He's got a Yules sitting in his inventory. He's got a Midas.
This is what we call support carry. This dates you back to actually like alpha times for Dota 2, where the Crystal Maiden ulti was completely bugged that she could actually win an entire team fight with just an ultimate. That's what it comes back to, man. Support carry.
I don't know, man. I feel like EGM eat your heart out right now.
Even then, like, Windrun's got enough farm to deal with on EGM. We're getting 21 minutes. He's got 4-star Blink Dagger plus a mech right now. He is permanently on the hunt. And Fnatic, they've got all 5 headed north. Hani's pushing out this lane, and Navi's looking for him. There's already a couple of TPs coming back. Navi can just push out this middle lane if they want to. Trixie's moved up towards the top lane. Both Hani as well as Trixie do have TPs to come back. But Navi is setting up to come in. Aggressive Observer Ward already inside the base, but pinged out instantly by Fly.
This is a really tense moment for Fnatic because if they lose this Rax here, this is like the perfect timing window for Navi. They come in with double BKBs. They're 2 10-second BKBs as well. They have mech. They have everything that they need really to break the base right now.
The only thing they need to do is keep their line points up. Those tosses.
Yeah.
It drops to a Vorst to a point where he might be a little bit more cautious, and they are backing up. I thought a Vorst might, if they could get up towards the high ground, then the Glaives would go to work from a Vorst. Then you'd have a lot of trouble for Fnatic.
That is one thing that Fnatic have on their side, like the black hole, the Darkseer wall, and a puck. Going high ground is extremely difficult. They might just want to wait until Puppey and Kuro even get their BKBs, because honestly, Puppey's not that far away from his, and Kuro's got his Ogre Club in the stash, and he's only 900 away from getting the Mithril Hammer, so you're going to be looking at a quad BKB soon.
Wow.
I wonder though if we'll see the same problem that happened with Alliance. Like they all grouped up, and that was in defense at that point. But Navi also, like this middle lane is a pretty tight choke point. If they want to try and come through there, they're going to find themselves all bottom lane. Puppey, Yule Scepter, evades the avalanche.
The timing.
Gangpy failed. That ward was played a long time ago, and Denny with the haster, and he's going to go right on top of the same position. Don't tell me pulled back into. He's going to get this kill right now. Tether or not, it didn't pull him away. And Denny can keep going. TA trap slows down Era. There's a secondary trap. It's going to slow down both Honey and Era. At the max slow, and he pops the BKB. He wants to find himself being avalanched. Another trap. 4 heroes to be slowed on this one, but he can't commit any further. And that's actually a 10-second BKB pop for no gain.
Yeah, I think he just BKB'd because, you know, the adrenaline, it's like, oh, we can get another kill, we can get another kill. It's easy to make that mistake in the moment. And ultimately, they don't lose anything for it. Sure, the 10 charge BKB is nice, but 9 seconds ain't bad either. And they certainly aren't feeling any pressure right now on the
Top lane right now, Fly, he's in trouble, and he's going to get shackled! Funny blink down and go Fly, and Era perfectly blocked. The ET ulti never even had time to finish his channel, and Trixie was caught on the wrong side of this. He's certainly north. He wants to probably buy a Blink Dagger so he can be the jump and initiator, but he needs to buy a TP scroll right now. He's pulled the creep wave with him, which is stopping this push straight in towards the top lane. And Denny and a Force will have to deal with this.
What exactly was happening there? They looked to be sort of completely caught unawares, just standing still. It's not good.
Yeah, that summed it up. I don't actually need to add anything to that. It was just not good.
They just didn't see him coming from the side. Shackle, flies. Funnic's been stalking this for so long. He's got 7-1 charge, but not enough mana to really keep going with this. And now Trixie, maybe he does. If he can get one more Shackle, nah, not going to happen. Trixie searches away. He's just run the entire length of the map. A full circuit of the Dota 2 map.
God, Puppey, why are you so farmed?
Like the into
really, he's over 10,000 net worth. Everyone on the side of Navi is actually within like 200 net worth of each other, except for Kuro. He's the one who's playing the 6 role, I guess, in this game. Everybody else is a core. Everyone else is 1. Kuro is 6.
Is this part of the...
Even Kuro, man, he almost got his BKB. 6 or not. He's got enough farm to be in a position of 3 for Fnatic.
Is this part of that strat that Puppey was talking about, do you think? Where he was like thinking about sort of having the farm support?
The strategy is to have the other team give you Elder Titan.
Yeah.
I don't know. But honestly, like if I'm being totally objective, the Elder Titan has been really good, but it hasn't been like the game breaker for me. I think it's just been that Fnatic had a really good advantage early, and they overextended a few times, and Navi just punished them for it. And now, because Fnatic have a team that are really weak against mass BKBs until like late game, when a Tiny becomes a monster, they just have a really bad timing window right now because Era still needs a lot more farm to become relevant again.
Yeah, because he's going to pick up his Aghanim Scepter and 1600 gold. That's the reason why No-Tail and Era have actually gone all the way over to the dire side jungle so he can find that level of farm and then go back again. But even once he picks up the Aghanim Scepter, there's no straight... it's not going to be enough up against this Navi lineup with the amount of money they've got, with the items they've got. They need more. They need a lot more than this.
The other concern that I have too is if they do make it to the late game, say 20, 30 minutes from now, does the Tiny out-carry the Luna, the TA, with another Titan on the side of Navi? Because I'm kind of thinking no.
I'd agree no. Unless he gets possibly... Even if he swings against a perfect crit, it's not going to be enough. And the chance of getting that when you've got Windrunner like bouncing around, throwing shackles like she is going to be almost impossible for the Tiny to have a clean fight.
Yeah. I don't know, Ted, what would you do?
In Fnatic's position?
What would you do?
I don't know, man. I hope for the... I mean, look, you've still got good team fight. The best bet you've got is to try and get Tiny his Ags as quick as you can. Failing that, I think you've got to hope for a really good initiation. If you could surprise Navi somehow, get a 3-man black hole, get a good coil, silence, I don't know. That's I think what it'll take is either a Navi mistake or a piece of brilliance from Fnatic to turn game 1 around in their favor.
I'm inclined to agree. I think that Navi pretty much have to make a mistake at this point for Fnatic to come back.
That's going to be a pretty damn big mistake. We're talking
Yeah.
like 5-man black hole
Yeah.
with no BKBs up.
Hey, man, Fly's gotten the 4-man, okay?
Yeah.
True. It's only
Yeah.
one step away from a 5-man black hole.
True.
Downside is he doesn't have a blink dagger.
On the upside, he has a Wisp.
He has a Midas.
And he had... Yes.
I'm just saying,
How
man.
many of those damn things are in this game? Can we
Let's
have a
see.
Midas count?
But it would have
One
taken him
Midas.
forever to get the BKB if he did get the Midas.
3 Midas, 4 Midas. I think it's only 4.
Yeah, there's 3 for Fnatic, 1 for Navi right now. And Navi already looking to kill. They 3 smoke up mid. We've already got Havors who continues to farm up. He's got his ultimate orb. That's basically a full Yasha for him right now if he wants to fly it out. And that's going to mean triple the Havors pushing up the mid. 4-Star comes in for the puck. That may be another way to get the Enigma into the middle of the fight. But at the same time, these size devices are coming in a little bit faster. There's your toss out, but Havors is now at the point where he doesn't care about it. He's got 1,600 life points. He'll be okay. He's also got this attack speed bonus aura coming out from the Centaur. So look for him to jump in. Hardy got himself a double silence. The ET Stomp bought a little bit more space. This tower will survive for now.
This BKB team, man, it's looking pretty scary for Fnatic. The thing is, if Navi just sit outside of Fnatic's base, what can Fnatic do? Realistically, they can't just walk out the Tiny and the Wisp because they'll get chased. Hani trying to...
Fnatic blinks up. They just want to force him back so they can take the tower.
Yeah.
His primary objective right now. Also, watch Steady. He's saving this refraction. Now, he's got full mana, but he is not using his refraction at all.
Well,
This is just like the perfect jump in timing they're waiting for.
they got them urn charges, man. Don't need to use refraction. Just go hit the tower.
True. The tower's almost dead. The ET Spirit goes for another scout. It's another thing to take into account. Like this ET comes with a lot of physical damage. Oh, Hardy jumped in. There's a shackle. It didn't latch properly though. And Fnatic getting Malifus done, but he gets 4-Star back out to safety as well.
That actually looked like a fairly good time to engage for Fnatic, but they're just so scared of the BKBs, really, on the side of Navi. They're forced to deny their tier 3. So now their racks are exposed. They have used Glyph, which means that the next engagement, Navi just want to start the fight very, very badly.
Yep. Doesn't really help though when a Havors keeps getting hit, but with the tower going down, now the glaives start bouncing. And this is the dangerous time. Hani jumps in. It's a 10-minute shackle. Phase shifted out, and Havors already triggered off the BKB. 4-Star away. Hani has to orb and Jawn as well. Lose a beam. He's almost down right now, but he's got his one charges up. The mid racks back to it. The range racks have been the main focus. But it has not died just yet. But Navi will continue just to chip away at this.
I have to say, this is some pretty disciplined pushing from Navi. Typically, they just go for the fight.
Well, Puppy, he's in close. There it is for Fnatic. Blinks in, back, wall, Havors. He's in the black hole right now. He'll have to keep this channeling, but it doesn't really help him at all because he'll regenerate back up again. Now with the Aegis, the Immortal Trick is so low. There goes your Eclipse. Double kill right now for Havors. Double buybacks as well, but they've already lost their range racks. The question is, can they get some collateral? Trixie, low on life. Yule Scepter, sending the Enigma up and towards the air while they are able to pick off Hani, who gets power shotted down again. And then with the traps, Fly slowed down, the Rax is going down too. The bouncing Glaive's actually injuring Trixie on the way in. Max in again, but there's no wall left anymore. And now an extra little bit of a toss in, but Era has to back up. And with no tier 2 towers on the side lanes, Navi, it's not that hard to rotate out.
And because of the fact that they use Black Hole just to kill the Aegis, they know the Fly is not going to have it for the next push.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now things become infinitely harder for Fnatic as if it wasn't already bad enough.
They just need Luna towards the front lines. Clean up the creep wave, attack the tower. Primary goal right now, expose that Rax, especially before Pup gets back up again. And the Stomp is just buying him the space to do so. Havors to pop the BKB. I don't know if that was fully intentional. Either way, BKB is now down, and No-Tail trying to come in close. Mini Shackle, Fnatic jumping in again. Havors' full butterfly is now actually being purchased up, but he's going to fly down to him and get here in time. He's coming from the Radiant shot, Fly locked in position. Pops the BKB to escape from the Frostbite, but that damage from Dandy takes away his life. Yule Scepter now up on Era, and then he continues to fire, but he's looking for the kill on No-Tail, forcing him back, and now Avalanche toss. Both Kuro and Denny dropping with a lot of life points, but Fnatic blinks him. Unfortunately for him, he was short by 5 mana to get that shackle off as well, which is in a perfect line for. But the Billy Rack's already gone. The ET oldie will snap out too. Won't catch anybody, but does stop Fnatic from jumping in again. But Harney, well, he seems to ignore that. Jumps in, orb tie, and Denny is chasing it. Forced up to the other side of the canyon and up to the secret shop to run away. He can TP out anytime he wants.
And Fnatic are just getting withered down right now. They've already lost 2 sets of racks. Well, not 2 sets, but the range racks top is going to die very soon. The next time Navi even want to come to that lane, if they even decide to, they might just go bottom instead and just say, yeah, we'll go for the almost mega creeps. And then at that point, Fnatic are looking pretty grim here in game number 1. But I have to hand it to Navi. Even though they gave away a couple of kills at the beginning of the game, they managed to turn it around very nicely. They recognized the over-aggression coming out from Fnatic, and they got so many kills just because Fnatic were, I mean, let's be honest, they had like the bloodlust in their eyes. They just wanted to kill so bad that they would toss poor No Tail into a tier 2 tower. And that's some aggression.
Yeah, they're getting to a point now. Like, you can't kill it. Look at Puppy's money. Harney, like, he's going to give this a shot right now, but Puppy's still walking around with the Yule Scepter. So Harney, he missed the silence. And BKB from Puppy will be used so he doesn't get caught out. I'm wondering what he's trying to do here, because instantly when I saw the Vitality booster, I thought, okay, we're going to have a Rod of Atos coming up. But I'm wondering now if he just says, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to go hard.
He is second only to Luna.
Yeah, he's more farmed than Dendy.
Yep, more farm than Denny, more farm than Fnatic. He's in second position for net worth.
Incredible.
15,000. He's
Money.
also still only got the 4 kills. Like, he hasn't got a kill in the last, what, 15 to 20 minutes?
Yeah, but he's got 120 CS as a CM. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous considering the highest on the side of Fnatic is 150.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is a heart. It is a heart. He requires another 300 gold, and he has a heart on a Crystal Maiden 34 minutes into this game.
You know how easy it's going to be for him to walk into the high ground, BKB and ulti?
Yep.
Like, you can't even hit him because he's going to have, like, what, 2,700 health?
And where's your physical DPS coming from? Era's at least got some good DPS at 227 plus 3, but that's not going to be enough to get through.
And now you're struggling to kill a Crystal Maiden while Luna and TA and ET go to town on you.
Trixie got caught. He tried the TP. The power shot from Fnatic gave him the vision, and then he just basically blinked himself up. And Bumpy comes in, and does he get this one? No, the Wind Ranger will take it. And we now also get a Lincoln Sphere up on Hovor. So he never finished the Mana Sully, went straight to the Butterfly, and now up to a Lincoln Sphere. While Crystallis and I think Templar Assassin just finished up. Yeah, he did. It's a full Daedalus coming out to Dendy. They are they're rolling in the money. Unless they catch his courier. This could be a big thing right now. Get that Daedalus on the ground. Yep, courier's dead. Daedalus is on the sideline. Denny might be a little bit annoyed about that one, but at the same time, that Navi lineup is moving back down the middle lane, and there's still a Rax and a half up.
To be fair, that courier would have had to have a full thing of completed Daedalus for the gold difference to be negated. Like, that's how far ahead Navi are right now.
Yeah. It feels like Navi are like saying to Fnatic, hey, this is a lineup you guys really wanted to play. Look how hard we're beating you. The CM has a heart. It's like a demoralizing loss at this point.
Actually, the annoying thing for CM right now is because she doesn't have the courier. You have to wait for the heart.
Well, she can go back to the base.
She can
But she has to sell something here. I was like, yeah, he's going to sell the wand and pick up the Reaver then. And then walk back to base. He's got almost 2k line points up on this Crystal Maiden.
Oh, he's going to have more than that when the heart's done. Don't you worry. This is just not something you get to see every day. You don't get to see a CM with this kind of farm. 2,300 health.
No.
More health than Havos.
Do you know the only bad thing is that how many pub games, if you're going to have CMs going for hearts now, you're going to have to explain to them.
No.
Please
It will
don't.
never happen.
I have more faith in the Dota community than that.
Good luck to you.
They're not going to see a CM with a BKB, a Yules, and a heart and go, this is a pretty legit build.
Hey,
I think
Puppy.
I can reasonably get this.
Hey,
We'll
Puppy,
see.
go in there and tank.
Tank it.
You should be tanking that right now and not Dendy and Fnatic. They've used Refraction as well as Windrun. But this Roshan has just died in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And that's a third Roshan too. So Aegis and Cheese. So the Aegis goes to the Luna, and Dendy will take the Cheese. If Navi don't have everything they need to push in right now, I don't know what they would need to buy beyond this.
Yeah, the CM can actually tank the tower as long as she's not getting hit by heroes because she'll just regen
no
damage.
tell. Throws down the ward, and now he's going to get spotted out. First hit. That attack is not going to be enough to finish him off. And he also 4-staffed away. To avoid the power shot as well as, well, this. The jumping in Fnatic.
I love how Fnatic just has no reservations about blinking into the base no matter what. He's like, yep, I'm just going to blink in. I know you guys can't kill me.
It's the way Fnatic plays, man. He doesn't say much, but he makes big plays. There goes bottom tier 3 tower. But in the meantime, Puppey is soloing up Fly in this middle lane, and then he's going to come up to help up. But Puppey doesn't need help, but Windrage needs his kill secure. And that's GG. That is fully GG. Navi, more money than God is the easiest way of describing that. They controlled so much. They controlled so much through that game. And the Wisp and the Tiny never really made his way in. Or the Puck. Like the jump initiations from Puck is almost like shrugged off by Navi.
I just can't believe how farmed that Sam was. Like, I'm not...
Jungle CM, man.
So much farm. It was unreal.